Hi class, welcome back to our second session. Alright, so for this session we are going to continue our jungle unit 2 and we will continue the page 62 and move to practice regarding to the new page that have on our page 63. So it's time for you to practice regarding to what we have just done at our first session together. Okay, start together everyone. Unit 6, short vowel O, page 62, page 63. A. Listen and write. Listen and write. Number 1, lock, lock. Number 2, top, top. Number 3, pot, pot. Number 4, fox, fox. Alright, so after we have done the activity that have on our page 62 already, let's move to the next activity that we can see part B, the story. So it's time for you to get out our jungle unit 2 and move to practice the activities on page 63 altogether. So guys, have you opened it yet? Alright, so on this page guys, we are going to see the story in here. So could you tell the teacher what pictures that you can see on this page? We can see the mob. What else beside mob? We can see orange, cop. We can see cop. We can see fox, and we also can see pot in here. Okay, so the activity that we are going to practice is we have to read the story and then we have to chant along. Before we move to practice our listening, it's time for you to read with the teacher first. Okay, read the story, then chant along. The dog has a hot pot. We can see a dog here has a hot pot, like we can see the pictures in here. The dog has a hot pot. Second one is the fox sees the pot. The fox sees the pot. The dog has a hot pot. We can see the dog here has a hot pot. And next is the fox sees the pot. So it's time for you to move to practice regarding to the activity by listen and then we have to read the story. And please don't forget to chant along together. Ready everyone? Okay, start.
Track 86. Read the story.
The dog has a hot pot. The fox sees the pot. The fox gets the pot. My pot, says the dog. The cop sees the fox. The cop gets the mop. Stop, says the cop.
Okay everyone, after we have done our reading and let's move to practice by chant along together. Okay, start.
Track 87. Now chant along. The dog has a hot pot. The fox sees the pot. The fox gets the pot. My pot, says the dog. The cop sees the fox. The cop gets the mop. Stop, says the cop.
Okay everyone, after we have done the activity by read the story and also chant along that have in our listening already, let's move to practice regarding to the activity that we are going to practice on the whiteboard. So it's time for you to read the story with the teacher and then we have to chant along together. Read it everyone, keep everything down and focus on the whiteboard. Okay, start. Story. Read the story, then chant along. Read the story, then chant along. The dog has a hot pot. All together everyone. The dog has a hot pot. Like we can see in our story, it means that the dog has a hot pot. Read together. The dog has a hot pot. Second one is the fox sees the pot. All together. The fox sees the pot. Next is the fox gets the pot. The fox gets the pot. My pot, says the dog. So it means that the dog said that my pot. Okay, so all together, my pot, says the dog. The cop sees the fox. All together. The cop sees the fox. The cop gets the mop. The cop gets the mop. Last one is stop. Say the cop. Who said that one? Stop. Okay, so good. So the cop said stop. Stop says the cop. Okay, all together again. The dog has a hot pot. The fox sees the pot. The fox gets the pot. My pot says the dog. The cop sees the fox. The cop gets the mop. Stop says the cop. So it's time for you to practice by hand along together. Okay, ready? Okay, start. The dog has a hot pot. The fox sees the pot. The fox gets the pot. My pot says the dog. The cop sees the fox. The cop gets the mop. Stop says the cop. Alright, so one after we have done the activity by read and also chant along already, and it's time for you to tell the teacher about the word in our story which are that have the short vowel LO related to sound that we have just learned in our both page 62 and page 63. So guys, it's time for you to tell the teacher to find the word that have short vowel O. So it's time for you to tell the teacher which word that has short vowel O. You have to, alright, we have to call it, okay? So the word that has short vowel O, we have the word, the first one is the dog has a hot pot. So the word that has short vowel O, we have the word dog, hot, and pot. Next is the fox sees the pot. The word that has short vowel O, we have the word fox and pot. The next is the fox get the pot. So the word that have short vowel O, we have two words. One is fox and pot. And the next is my pot says the dog. So we also have two words. One is the word pot and also the word dog. And next is the cop sees the fox. The word that has short vowel O, we have the word cop, which is OP sound, up, cop. And last one is fox, fox. And next is the cop get the mop. The cop get the mop. So the word cop and the word mop. And last one, stop says the cop. So we have only one word that has short vowel O, which is up sound, and the word is cop. Okay, so practice all together. The dog has a hot pot. So in this sentence, the word that has short vowel O, we have three words. One is dog that has OT sound. Second one is OT sound. And last one is also the same sound, which is OT sound, hot and pot. And number two, we also have two words. One is fox that have OX sound, and another one is OT sound, pot. And next is fox and pot. So between the two words in here, we have different sound. One is OX sound and another one is OT sound. The next is my pot, and the word is dog. So we have two sound. One is OX sound and another one is OX sound. And the next is the cop sees the fox. So in this sentence, guys, we have two words that have also the different sound. One is up sound, another one is ox sound. And next is the cop and the mop. So cop and mop, we have the same sound, which is OP sound. The word are cop and mop. And our last one is we have only one sound, which is OP sound, up. So stay home, you can practice by real related to the sound that you have learned already in Unit 6 altogether, okay? Practice regarding to what you have learned to make some activity to practice by yourself more and more at home, okay? And also your classwork for today, you have to practice by do the quiz in here that we have just done in our story. So what you have to do is in here we have to choose the correct answer between the two pictures in here, which one that is the correct one in our story. You have to do the circle. When you have done, please have to take picture to send it to your teacher, so your teacher gonna correct for you. Okay, so good. So that's it for today's session. So by the way of our lesson, the teacher would love to sum up regarding to the activity that we have just done for today. So for today we have done the activity by practice regarding to some activity that have both page 62 and page 63. So stay home, please don't forget to practice more. Okay? Stay home, be safe and good luck. Goodbye everyone, see you tomorrow. Goodbye.